I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Curling Stadium's coverage of the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. We are at the Swift Current Curling Club, and my name is Jim Nix, and I'll be joined today with Rory McCusker doing cameras and commentary, and with Connor Sims in production. So we got the full house here, and we're looking forward to a good game here with Brad Jacobs and a semi-local guy. I don't know how far Saskatoon is from Swift Current, but they're both in Saskatchewan, so we're going to call them local. Dustin Kalthoff.
Yep, that's fair. This is a team kind of from all different parts of Sask. I know them quite well. The front end, Sam Wells and Matt Ring, they're both Regina and Lumsden boys. Josh Height grew up in the Corrobert area, kind of on the Alberta side of Saskatchewan, and then Dustin Kalthoff, longtime Saskatoon guy. So,
okay, perfect.
Bit of here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of teams that way nowadays. Even down here in little old Nova Scotia, the teams are from everywhere. So Kalthoff has a win so far today. He did beat Steve Laycock 6-5 earlier today in his one and only game. And Brad Jacobs, this is his debut for this event. This is his first game, and I'm sure he's ready to get going. And nice that we could get going pretty much on time, really. We had a couple late games. Well, I had one particular late game in the last draw, and the ice crew did a great job in getting this turned around, ready to go.
Yeah, Jason Bratton's got a great crew of helpers. He's always been really good at getting young people into ice making. I'm forgetting a few of their names right now, but I've met a few young ice maker kind of volunteers and workers in Swift Current, and they're having a great time, and Jason does a great job training them.
Oh, that's great. So Jacobs with hammer here in the first end. Couple of rocks in play, not too much yet, but it's only been 4 rocks in, so doing okay. So we're up to second stone. Second stone for this team would be Sam Wills.
Sam Wills, mixed doubles champion, but focusing a lot on the men's game these last few years. This is a good team, a really good team out of Saskatchewan. Ooh, worst case scenario there, just barely kisses the guard, doesn't quite get it out of the way, and doesn't hit one of the rings. Not going to be happy with that.
No. Good news is he doesn't have hammer, and it is on the center line, so at least it might be of some service here down the road. So Josh Height should be son of Brad Height, possibly? Or related to Brad Height?
Yes, one of his sons.
Okay.
Yeah, I've played against Josh. Josh skipped his own team for a very long time. I've played against Josh since juniors. Josh was always known as a kind of fearless skip who, would try any shot. Just always seemed to make these crazy, like, wick, tick, angle, run back, sort of hit and roll the run stone, like all sorts of crazy rock movement. He'd make it happen.
Yeah. Looking that one over pretty hard.
He's also smashed a few brooms in his day, but who hasn't?
I think that that might be a little bit of genetics, possibly.
Yeah, where do you learn that?
I don't know. I know I'm probably older than Brad Height, for example, but I saw him play a lot and was very familiar with him, and I just think that would be a possibility.
No, these are fun guys, and they play a lot. They travel a lot. Very committed to the game.
That looks like a double here for the Kalthoff team.
Yeah, Sam makes good on his earlier missed hit. Gets rid of both red rocks.
The Jacobs team's kind of coming into their own here the last while. It seems a little bit rocky starting out when they're trying to get used to each other a little bit, and we got a good crowd out on the ice. Brave old souls, those guys.
Yeah, here I'll cheat over to the sheet over. They might be watching the local heroes after such strong performances at the Brier and at the Slams. Province of Saskatchewan is really loving Team McEwen right now. Wearing the green Cargill uniforms, looks a lot like Team Sask uniforms. It's we got a team to cheer for these days.
Just a beautiful roll there for Jacobs. Kalthoff going to play the draw. Now he might take a run at the run back, but I know he doesn't have hammer, but it is a relatively short run back right on the center line, but he's choosing to play the intern freeze, corner freeze on the redstone.
Yeah, they see a bit of an opportunity. That low guard is a yellow guard, so pretty easy to run back if things get too squirrely in the forefoot.
So height indicating it a little bit out there, maybe. I'm not sure. That looks like what it means to me. But it looks pretty good coming in here now. If he gets there. Very, very good, I think. Not bad for the first end to throw it up there, just 6-8 inches short of perfect. It's pretty good. And now Jacobs will do the job of getting rid of the guard.
Yeah, learning the draw paths right now. Sweepers didn't quite. They thought it was a foot heavier than it really was. So they'll dial that in no time. And like you said about Team Jacobs, in the last few TV appearances anyway, we've seen Team Jacobs really coming into their own. They're finding their rhythm. On paper, this should be one of the best teams in Canada and the world, and they're kind of starting to consistently get to that point where you can recognize them as one of the very, very best.
Yeah, I think when you go down a lineup and every player you come to, you think like, well, he's in the top couple of leads in the world. He's within the top couple of seconds, and Kennedy's certainly within the top few thirds, and Jacobs no slouch, so it should be a pretty good team.
Yeah, they're finding it for sure, and one of the more entertaining curling television moments I've ever seen was just a few weeks ago. They were getting booed in Newfoundland.
Yeah, I saw that.
Beating Brad Gushu. That was a really fun moment.
Yeah, a lot of discussion. It created a lot of discussion on social media afterwards for positively in a yes or no kind of approach. Some people didn't like it. Some people loved it. A lot of the players seemed to like it fine. Even Gushu didn't have a problem with it at all. So.
Well, Gushu wasn't the one getting booed, so I can see why.
That might be part of it. Yeah.
No, I ran into these guys. I was working the Sportsnet graphics truck at the Slams, one of my kind of curling broadcasting jobs, and we were going for the provided meal between games, and I saw these guys on the couches sort of resting by the players area, and yeah, they said it was one of the most entertaining and fun experiences of their life playing in front of that crowd. So they were a fan of it.
Do you work the Slams with Sportsnet? Have you done that for a while?
On and off for a long time. I actually used to do the stats. I would lead the stats crew. I was working with Jerry Gerritz in Curling Zone for quite a few years, and then now just recently, kind of post-COVID, I've gotten back in with Rogers Sportsnet production, and so this broadcasting curling is a lot of my life these days.
Yeah,
very, very fun. Speaking of slam
got that little. Oh, sorry, right. That Jacobs team got that little fancy spin in on that rock on the outside of the 12-foot, and that meant that Kalthoff pretty much had to do something with it.
Yeah, I ended up catching a bit of the 12-foot as they ticked off the guard.
Yeah.
No, all I was going to say is that a lot of those same teams that are frequenters at the Grand Slam are right here in Swift Current this weekend. So there's no shortage of high quality curling here.
Yeah, for sure. I was just asking you that because we've had 2 slams in Pictou County in the last 5 years, and where I live, and I didn't know if you might have been at one of those or not. But
absolutely, I was. I got the brown sauce pizza, the famous pizza place.
Oh yeah,
where I loved Pictou.
Yeah,
good curling fans too. Nova Scotia, always good crowds who appreciate the game.
Yeah. So I co-chaired those events with Denota Buckingham, so it was kind of pretty fun, and a really not a very big curling community in Pictou County, so it was we were really thrilled with how well it turned out.
Gonna catch the yellow stone. I bet they're okay with catching it a little bit, but not to the point where they rolled their own rock out of the rings.
No, exactly. So 2 rocks each to come. As mentioned, Kalthoff doesn't have hammer here. Jacobs does have hammer. 1 of each in the house. A lot of studying going into this one.
Yeah, I think they're just talking about the specifics of how they're going to make this hit and roll. You just want to roll flat, not leave a double.
Yeah. Yeah, because Brad Jacobs can do a lot of things well, and certainly doubles are at the top of that list. So Dustin Kalthoff will be playing an out-turn hit. A fairly gentle hit by the look of it. This is a pretty straight on hit, so you don't have to throw it very hard to be able to hold it there. So trying to get himself convinced a little bit. I'm going to tighten it up a little bit. Not a bad idea given where his rock is. If you have any doubt about it, then...
A couple swipes of the hand, you changed the ice in the hack a few times.
Yeah.
Dustin Kalthoff, very kind of like, he's got the eye of the tiger, really focused stare when he's in the hack. Very trademark Kalthoff.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way, yeah. He might have tightened it a little too much.
Didn't work this time.
No.
They have tightened it a little too much. Are they going to hang on the side of the 12-foot? They will.
Well, everything spins into the house here. Just like having a 12.5-foot house.
I have noticed these rocks that curl a lot, treated rocks, and ice conditions these days, that those long, slow rolls are almost guaranteed to hook backwards at the end. You almost got to predict that thing's going to spin and kind of recede back a few inches.
Yeah, you see it a lot more than you would expect to see it, and it's funny because people try to sweep it to get it to go that way, and some people sweep the inside of it, some people sweep the outside of it, some people sweep wherever. It's just like, I don't even sure anybody knows. I think they could do nothing and just watch it and probably get the same result, but everybody tries to do a little something with it.
Just pray.
Yeah.
Nothing really you can do.
Yeah.
The rock's traveling so slow, by the time the patch that you've swept is actually contacted by the running surface, it's back to however it was before you swept it.
So Brad Jacobs with an in-turn hit here, hoping to probably hit this and just roll over on top of the yellow, or in front of the yellow. Won't be directly on top of it, but a little roll would be good. It can make the double, but I don't know if he's even trying to make the double. Got a chance to maybe get a deuce. That's a great
How
shot.
good is that?
That's a great shot.
Yeah, I mean, if
See
you're
it
being
here.
super picky, I guess you want to roll like half an inch more, but really you only had one chance to give yourself a realistic shot at a deuce here, and that was to hit and roll right on top of the backing, and that's exactly what they do here. Another expert line call from Mark Kennedy, one of the best in the business at reading that rock as it comes down the sheet.
Yeah, that was so good. Kalthoff doesn't think he can blast that out of there, and he's probably right. There's not a lot of room over there.
Sam Wills does.
Yeah. Or you don't. I guess you could do that too. You could probably hit it right on the nose and stay in front of it and accomplish the same thing. But you might, depending on probably the difference of a half an inch, quarter of an inch, whether or not your shot or the other guy's shot when you're done. Well, they're going to give it a go. Or it looks like they're going to give it a go anyways. I'm not sure if they're looking way over there, so it'll appear he's going to try to blast it out of there versus...
Yeah, I guess they're just making sure it's not going to jam.
Yeah.
There is just enough of an angle, I think, and maybe like half an inch of separation. You can get this rock going pretty hard across the rings.
Yeah, I guess... Go ahead, Rory.
No, it's probably the traditional call. If you are able to make this go away, you should probably try. But your shot's pretty good suggestion, Jim. Just basically hit and stick right on the nose and flip that frozen scenario around to your favor.
Yeah. I think my view is slightly tainted by the fact that I can't throw it hard enough to make one shot like this. Never could. Even when I was 25 years old, I don't think I could throw it hard enough to get this out. Of course, back then, not too many people could. Dustin Kalthoff now with his last rock here in the first end. Looking to try to prevent a deuce. Can't quite see it, but he might be good. And
flies no problem.
Yeah, it was easy. Maybe I could have made that after all. The great shot by Dustin Kalthoff there, and you'll see it again here. And come out. You see the eye of the tiger, as Rory said, and it'll disappear for a couple of seconds and come back, and there we are. That's a great shot, and he did make it look very, very easy. And they had it lined up for the no jam too.
Yeah, all four of these guys on Team Kalthoff can throw hard. Even Matt Ring, the lead, can throw pretty hard. Last rock here.
So an easy shot for Brad Jacobs, just fired through with some serious weight. And we have a blank end here in end number 1. We'll take a short break and be back with the second end right after this.
So with the impact to my business and income, will this delay my retirement?
I know you're worried, Marshall, but based on the original plan we came up with, you're only about 6 months behind.
I thought it would be years, not months.
You should feel good. Remember, you've got a plan.
Thanks.
With change comes questions. See the impact of your money decisions before you make them with RBC Wealth Plan.
Artline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind from pre-seed to post-harvest. You can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you
Long commercial.
Yeah. And we are back. We just missed a couple of shots. Saw the first one probably went to the back of the house. Got to figure out where the rocks are here. Wait a second. Kalthoff throwing the center guard now. You notice the yellow at the back of the house. Probably not where that was intended to be. And I'm not sure.
I guess it was a draw to the 4 foot. Just came a little deep.
Yeah.
Ringer's got a little case of the heavies.
Yeah. Corner went up, and now the center guard's not quite on the center, but in the neighborhood, is up, and Jacobs will go around the corner.
Matt Ring, I used to skip against him in growing up in Regina. He was Mr. 4 foot. He put that rock in the 4 foot. Any end, any time. You had to assume he would never miss that draw shot. So him playing lead for a highly competitive men's team makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So Jacobs coming around this corner, as we said. And goes by nicely by 2 or 3 inches.
So both teams kind of getting their preferred opening without any objection by the other. Both teams kind of missing the mark a little bit. That draw coming up light. Matt's first draw coming up heavy. So both teams with 2 stones kind of in the section of the ice that they wanted, but still some work to do to make the good one, as we would say, as you're trying to steal our force. Got to have one good one in there to attract the opponent's attention. So Sam Wills is going to try to make that good one right now.
Yeah, it doesn't have that pretty look of one perfect center guard and one perfect draw behind it, and then the perfect corner guard and the perfect one behind it. These ones are scattered a little bit, so this one could be good. Doesn't over curl. It's going to maybe over curl a little bit and go a smidge deep, but chance for Jacobs now to maybe make this and roll to the corner if he chooses. He may play just a freeze. No.
So having played the men's event in Swift Current last weekend, I can say like a lot of curling clubs, is a bit quicker coming home. The house closest to the glass seems to have a bit more glide. We would clock about a quarter of a second to half a second slower going away than coming home. So I have seen some teams kind of getting tricked on that a little bit. I mean, this being only the second end, yeah, the pass would be getting quicker and quicker every time you throw them. But just interesting to see coming to the wings came up short, and coming to the middle seems to be coming deep. So maybe a little difference in paths right now in the second end.
Yeah. It's Brent Gallant, second stone for Jacobs. With this one, trying to make a little hit and roll to the corner. And it would be pretty well done. Didn't quite get over to where they wanted it, but it's pretty close.
Do not cut to me, Connor. I just lost one of my cameras. Not sure what just happened.
So Kalthoff calling for hack weight here. A little bit of a hack weight and roll back to the center a little bit would be good.
There we go. Multitasking here, Jim. Connor Sims and I on the production. Before we would just kind of have one person on production. We're finding now we can do a little better job with 2, and it's been really fun to work with Connor. He's came on this year and learned a lot really quick. So
a good shot
really
there
good
by,
production role.
Yeah, good shot there by Sam Wells. Didn't quite get back over as far as they would have liked, but still very nicely done.
Yeah, you got to chase it. You got to get rid of the red. That's objective number 1.
Jacobs will try to have Brent Gallant put it back, make it just that little bit better. Second game in a row, I've been able to do a game with some East Coast flair to it. Brent from PEI. Just indicating it might be down a little tiny bit. Kennedy now trying to curve it over. It's going to be about the same place as the last one. Actually didn't get quite as far over as the last one. So Josh Height now will have the same shot they just played, really. Is he going to try to get to the inside of it? Okay, interesting. Hack weight again.
Yeah, you could roll this all the way across the rings back to the centerline guard side of things. Keep Jacobs away from their corner guard setups. With those overlapped kind of corner guards, it is a pretty good area for Jacobs to pile rocks in. So I would think you'd want to roll things away from that.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. He might give us tap it one more time and let us know what he's thinking here. But so far, it looks like still hack weight, still that call. Or hack or bumper. Somewhere in between there. I think he's trying to go under a little bit with this, Rory, but I'm not sure. Like under the corners. It's the last sets of taps that I saw.
Yeah, it looks like ice for kind of heavy hack, board weight type of thing.
I'm trying to get it to curl a little bit.
Looks pretty good. So they were trying to roll it open. That's not going to be ideal. Makes the roll under the corner guards even easier.
Yeah.
Might have been a plan B, Jim.
Yeah. I wonder if it was, because it didn't seem like, to make that roll, I think you're going to have to take more ice than what you had there. So if you're serious about making the roll, and they never really came close on either one of those to make the roll. So Jacobs will give it another go. Taking much ice either. I thought the ice would go a little harder towards the wings here, but Mark Kennedy. Not doing much with this one. Now trying to get it to curl a little bit. Not going to go too far. It's obviously very, very difficult to make that roll behind that corner. Everybody wants to do it. They just haven't been able to make it happen yet.
Yeah, that happens often in curling. Chasing the same shot, both teams.
I think it's one of those that you have to have the nerve to throw it a little lighter than what anybody's throwing it. And that carries some risk with it as well. Mark and Ben trying to figure it out. Josh Height with his second stone here in the second end. Wing to the right. It might be a little wide on it. Sometimes it means that. Sometimes it means they want the sweeper on that side to go. Trying to carve this one in early. This one might make the roll behind the center guard.
Weight's a little better on that one.
Yeah, gonna go too far, but I think that's a better spot for them to be playing rather than playing around that corner guard.
Oh, most definitely. The distance between those two red rocks. Now, here's the thing, though, Jim. That red one is biting the 12-foot, hey?
It is, yeah.
So now it's a hit to lie two separated. So that's a different kind of risk that Kalthoff's dealing with now.
Yeah, true enough.
Admittedly, I actually didn't take a close enough look at that top red. I didn't realize it was in the rings. Whoops.
Yeah, you would hate to be, you'd hate to give up a 2-1 with that one being the second stone, but you have to do something good to prevent it. There's only a couple of rocks left to come. Mark Kennedy playing his in-turn hit. Franklin working hard to hold this and not really looking to roll behind. So they've left the roll for Kalthoff. Dustin has to make a good roll here somewhere to prevent the 2. And even if he does,
even if it's a perfect roll, there's going to be a way for Jacobs to chase it in some capacity. And of course, they could always play a run back and get rid of both yellows.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, keeping Jacobs out of the rings at this point, pretty good solution. Just work hard and worst case, you're going to give up 2 points.
Yeah. It would be a little better for Kalthoff if it was just a little higher in the ring, so that if he did roll behind the guard, there was a little less room for Jacobs chasing it, but that's not where it is, so you have to play with where it is. So balls and ring on brooms here. You're going to roll back a little bit too far the other way again.
Yeah, it's just overrolled out in the open.
Probably come up a little harder than I thought it would. Dustin had pretty good weight on it. Now Jacobs faced with the same decision. Where to go. If he rolls just a foot to our right as we look at it and buries it, he probably forces Kalthoff to play the draw, which might not be a good thing for him if he takes the whole end away. See, Brad, looking at rolls that aren't necessarily bearing people, your first instinct is to roll behind something, but these guys recognize that if you go make it too good and force the other guy to play a shot, that might be tough, but if he makes it, he's taking away your whole end.
Yeah, most definitely. And to face 2 buried Jacob stones, kind of scary on its own.
Yeah. Yeah, he may not even go there. He might just hit number 2 and try to roll that in and make sure he doesn't give up any more than the 2. So Brad Jacobs now playing out of Edmonton, Alberta. Really gentle with this one. Looks like it's probably going to be a nose hit. Nope, rolled.
Rolled out in the open, and you got to think, no need to do anything crazy here.
No.
Oh, and right as I say that, Dustin Kalthoff taps his broom to indicate a draw. I mean, if you make it real good, they'd have to play a run back for 2, and it looks like you're giving up 2 anyway. The risk, of course, being if you leave a shot for 3.
Yeah, I think that's the scary part. That's the only reason why I don't think you could do that. He seemed pretty deliberate when he put it down. If somebody had said, okay, he probably would have went ahead. But I think Josh right away sort of thought, well, what are you talking about over there? We think we need to hit this one back here. So you hit it and stay, and who knows, you might get a little rollout from Jacobs and get away with the 1.
Yeah, either way, just the risk versus reward, I think. It's got to be that way.
Yeah, that's a little bit.
Dustin does not like his handle on the rock.
No.
Sam's going to go fight for him. Looking for Heikert. I could just see him say the handle's falling off the rock.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
The old style rocks, this sort of thing happened quite often, but these.
Oh, and he's right. Here, Connor, take me. That handle is just spinning on the spot. Totally unscrewed. Spinning it like a top. And I think this is a good time to check the chat. Jim, this is our last draw of the day. I've been streaming curling all day, so I think I have deserved a cold beer. Don't tell my boss.
Okay.
Just kidding. Just kidding. We have fun at Curling Stadium. Let us know where you're tuning in from, who you're cheering for. We love checking the chat. We love interacting with everyone. So I can see quite a few names. Oh, Jake Ripplinger, player in Regina. Kenny Canuck. Cheryl Laporte, she's been watching all day with me. Hello, Cheryl. Teresa. Quite a few accounts. Thank you so much for commenting on the stream and making it fun for us and everyone. That's the best part about streaming versus watching on TV. You actually have a whole community you can chat with. So let us know what you think of the calls and big shots, and let's have some fun on there.
Kalthoff playing the hit here. Hope to stay. Maybe roll a little bit behind the guard. Make Jacobs' last shot a little bit tougher. I don't know if they tightened up that handle or they just used a different rock for this shot, but this one's gonna, looks like might roll out. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's slightly more challenging of a spot for Jacobs to chase this.
Well, he sure doesn't have a lot of room to roll, that's for sure.
Of all the places Dustin could have rolled, that's a fine one. You're looking at giving up 2 this end anyway, so.
So outturn, just call it an outturn tap kind of for Jacobs. I don't think he'll be throwing this very hard. He doesn't have a lot of room to roll, so he'll want to control this as best he can. And he certainly has 2 sweepers that are more than capable of doing that.
Nice easy weight here, Jim.
Yeah, I was expecting that that's all he would throw. I figured he would throw just basically almost just through the house weight. And if he doesn't roll anywhere, he's going to be fine. So very nicely done. Brad Jacobs will pick up 2 here in the second end. Take a 2-0 lead after 2 minutes of play here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. We'll be back right after the break.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution. Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses? Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
$1 or something. And we're back. Friend number 3. Dustin Kalthoff with a little bit of work to do. He just gave up a 2, which is not the end of the world by any stretch, but he will want to get right at it probably. This shot should help him more than hurt him, to be honest. The guard was certainly not in the right place. I've never seen Ben Hebert throw an intern draw that early in a game before, so...
Tries to avoid it as long as he can, doesn't he?
He must be practicing or something just for that to be throwing that. It was an odd shot.
Here's the good news for Team Kalthoff fans. Very good drawing team, very good sweeping team once they get the pass and draw weight. Matt Ring, excellent sweep judge. Sam's been working really hard, just swept like 6 days in a row at mixed nationals.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, so he's in good sweeping shape. Just a strong drawing team overall.
That's good. So this would be one of the top teams in Saskatchewan, I guess. I mean, McCurran would obviously be number 1 right now.
I would say so. I would put Laycock with Chris Heikert on that team. Yeah. Kalthoff, McEwen, and Knapp in at kind of the top 4 teams in the province. Kind of that'd be the tier 1 echelon. Maybe Jason Jacobson in that conversation as well.
Okay.
The top 4 or 5 teams, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, it's better than my opinion because I don't know any of them except McEwen. I would have got that one right. So looking to come in here right on top of the yellow. And obviously, the outturn was a better result than the intern for Ben Hebert. And the rock is virtually frozen. Kalthoff looking to just move it back a little bit, change some angles up a little bit. So a little tap on this, move it back to half the length of that broom. Stay at a bit of an angle so he can do something with this after. Sam Wells on the brush. Josh Hike coaching him a little bit. There's a lot of sweepers doing nowadays.
This is a Matt Ring special, little angle tap. How good is that? Really nice shot from Ringer.
Very nicely done. Jacobs will go right on the top again. Frank Gallant this time. He's going fairly hard on this one. And to drop it now, so make very few sweeping errors. The good teams nowadays they make so few sweeping errors. It's amazing. That one is not so bad for Kalthoff.
That's a great answer from Brett Gallant. Responding angle freeze with angle freeze. Now it'll be Sam Will's turn to throw another one on the pile. Hopefully get a slightly inside tap and roll, I think would be ideal.
Yeah, I think it sets up pretty nice for that right now. Josh Height trying to hold it out so it doesn't crash in this guard, but it's going to be everything he can do to not have it happen, and it did. A little bit of a missed opportunity there. You might get it again, but certainly was a good opportunity there to make that shot and maybe flop a little bit. Maybe be sitting 2 when you were done. Jacobs doesn't love this setup either. He's looking at it thinking that it looks more like the reds are gone and the yellows are going to stay here. The back yellow probably ends up leaving too. It looks like it might hit it on the way by.
Yeah, that middle yellow's going nowhere, in my opinion. So it's not blowing that up.
Yeah,
isn't super helpful.
Yeah.
What kind of rearrange would help Team Jacobs here?
Well, I'm not sure. That's why I was kind of questioning a little bit.
Kind of one of those ones, the longer you look at it, if I stare at this for 10 more seconds, maybe it'll look a little prettier.
Yeah. Brent's sort of tipping and tapping a little bit, like, let's tap this and we'll roll over here and just don't try to get too aggressive with it and see what happens. He's gonna Mark Kennedy's gonna be throwing this one, I guess. We had 4 stones left or 5 stones left. 1, 2, 3. We'll clarify that in a second. I think there's one more. I think there's 5 each left. Well, he's going to throw a little bit at it. We'll find out what would have happened here. Frank Gallant for Team Jacobs.
Not crazy weight. It's control-ish. Maybe closer to normal. Back yellow goes. 2 reds stay in the rings. It will be Kalthoff with shot rock.
Yeah, I think the problem for Kalthoff now is that everything's so close together, it's going to be hard for him to separate these a little bit. That might be the way to do it.
The good news is that we're about halfway through the end. Good news for Team Kalthoff anyway. We're about halfway through the end. There's no center guard. There's no particularly threatening red stones.
Exactly.
I mean, Team Kalthoff's got 5 rocks left here to try and make something happen. There's a tight corner guard. They'll eventually try to roll something behind that, but no danger here for Kalthoff and a little bit of opportunity for a more open style deuce.
Yeah. Looking at a little bit of a round the horn roll up behind the corner guard, but it's a tough shot to play just right now. Hit this one right on the nose. Probably is not bad. At least in the sense of preventing a double.
You know what, my spidey senses were tingling as I was listing off some of the top men's teams in Saskatchewan. I knew I was forgetting someone, and I knew my phone would just blow up with who it was. And our Connor, our producer, just reminded me, Ryland Clyder, one of the hottest teams in Canada right now.
Yeah.
I am not trying to throw shade Ryland Clyder's way. They just won the Tier 2 competition at the Grand Slam of Curling. Had a great showing at the Slam in Nisku. They've perennially great for years. Ryland Clyder right up there in the top teams in Sask. Apologies, boys. I mean, no shade. just a little forgetful.
All right, you kind of got put on the spot. You didn't get a lot of thinking time on that one.
You are damned if you do, damned if you. Those as soon as you start listing things off like that, you are you're gonna screw up in some way. Should have known.
So that last shot was actually quite good by Team Kalthoff. I think it ended up taking the red out, sitting right in front of the other red. So he's in pretty good shape as far as at least keeping one of these yellows around. There is a thin double.
Yeah, it's in a pretty good spot. What do you think the best roll is here, Jim?
Well, I think he can only roll to the right as we look at it coming down the sheet here. So I think a little roll half behind the corner is not bad. That's.
I know they wanted to kind of change the angles there. I'm not sure that's so good though.
Yeah.
It is red shot too, so that's an advantage.
Kalthoff looking at just a nose hit here. I think. Didn't seem to indicate he wanted to roll.
Yeah, just dealing with this one for now. I think you got to roll back towards center line or else the kind of yellow slash double. Jacobs will just be licking his lips.
Yeah.
I thought of that.
Yeah. I don't see a lot wrong with rolling back towards the center, even if you do get behind those. And I mean, there's always going to be some kind of a race takeout shot available, but right now you're going to have two rocks wide open, so I think sometime you're going to have to move, get one of them behind the guard.
Big sweep to hold this. Okay, they're satisfied staying out on the wing.
Yeah.
Again, no real danger looking at here for Team Kalthoff. This is all just how you're going to organize your stones to not leave an easy double or anything to roll under. Just checking on the chat here. Got a message from an account, Archer's Blue Car Driving School. Sorry, he's from Edmonton and he's booing Jacobs just because, of course, they do so well when they're being booed.
Yeah.
If they love it, this is the new cheer for Jacobs.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're starting to get boos on the YouTube chat lines, it's a new experience, that one. Mark Kennedy looking to remove one of these yellow stones. Sit two when they're done. So it's going to curl a little bit, probably. Let's stay out there.
Interesting layout. I think red's still shot two.
You think red's sitting two, do you? I think yellow's. I would pick yellow, but it's really close.
It's really close. I just maximized the screen. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
Pretty close. It's not going to stay that way for long, though.
No. So it's just three to come for Kalthoff, trying to figure out how he's going to get his two here. As these rocks get closer and closer together, it gets more and more difficult because Jacobs will take a run at a short double here somewhere.
Right on the nose, no easy double. might be worth taking on, but you'd lose absolutely everything.
Yeah. And there's always the possibility that the red one or the yellow one just beside the red just doesn't go anywhere. We're not far enough, anyways. So much to think about this level. My Tuesday night men's league game, we don't have to think nearly so hard.
I always know when the Briar's on TV because league nights get way slower.
Yeah.
Everyone trying to do an impression of their favorite curler, thinking about each and every shot.
And all of a sudden, run back seemed like a shot we should call in the club, and they don't call them all year until like you say, until the Briar's on or something's on that's like that's like, oh, you just run this one back. It's like, yeah. Fill your boots. Tell you what, for this early in the game, this has been a very long end. For really not a lot of rocks in play either, just a lot of discussion.
Yeah, I find that, teams tend to mirror each other. If one team takes a long time, the other team will sort of instinctively slow down as well.
Yeah.
And, love Team Kalthoff, definitely not the fastest team out there.
Yeah. That's okay. We're not going anywhere. Not even midnight here yet.
No, 9:55 local.
Whoops.
It's a 4-day bonspiel, 4.5-day bonspiel. No, the nights will be late for the next few days.
Yeah.
And the morning's early.
Apple Watchers have heard things. I said it's not even midnight here yet. My watch set an alarm for 12 o'clock. Weirdest thing. I don't get it. Anyway, it looks like Brett Jacobs may roll out on this one. Not quite. Did hang around, but maybe a good chance here, though, to spread these rocks out if you can figure out how to make this and distribute them. I don't know if I like that.
It'd be really hard not to leave a double if you hit that red one on the center line.
Yeah.
You might be better off hitting it kind of thin with light weight and getting a very sharp roll, trying to make the angle as steep as possible. So I don't think there's much you can roll to where you're not going to leave a fairly natural thick double.
Did you ever consider playing the outturn on your yellow one and roll towards the rock that's out there?
Well, maybe. I think you're grouping your stones together anyway doing that, and there's just so many more ways to screw it up.
Yeah.
To keep both yellows in play might be a little difficult. Josh is he's always very good at observing what would be the absolute perfect shot, but the problem is sometimes it's a little too difficult. So he's looking at hitting the outside red and really specifically rolling dead center line. And while, yes, that would be the very perfect place to be, it's just kind of hard to get there.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. You gotta roll 4 feet, and you're not. If you're just a little bit off on the roll, it could be very easy for Jacobs. They're going to play it though.
Yeah. I guess they're seeing what I see, in that there is no way to hit that one on the center line without leaving a pretty automatic double.
Yeah.
So this might be the same difficulty and a much higher reward than playing the kind of sharp hit and roll.
Well, the other thing you could do possibly to play a little split on the yellows and roll them away, and then he's going to make a hit, and then you hope that you can make a double coming back, because either way you're probably going to have to do something good on your last one. Dustin Kalthoff now with the outturn hit and hopefully roll.
With the outturn, trying to hold this straight, you definitely got to keep this in the rings.
You got to hit it. He will hit it, but not going to keep it in the rings, I don't think. Well, maybe. It will stay.
Yeah, fairly interesting.
Yeah, it looked like it was going harder than that.
Yeah, something to think about for Jacobs. The easy thing to do would be hit the open one, but you will leave that kind of hit and roll for 2 if you do that.
Yeah.
Very tough to defend against 2 this way.
Looks like decision's been made. I'll try to play this one and maybe just move the red one a little bit further. So Kalthoff has a difficult double. It's pretty precise, this one. You got to be pretty sharp on this. You want to touch yours, but you don't want to touch it real hard. Mark making sure he knows what he has to have here to be shot rock or second shot.
Yeah, line 2. Never a bad thing. Force Kalthoff to make the double.
Yeah. And Hebert trying to make her move. Not going to roll too far, I don't think.
That's pretty darn good. That's
just
exactly what Mark Kennedy was trying to set up.
Yeah.
And that is a slap in the face to the idea that they would have to chase one of them. This is with Kalthoff in height. I guess that's why you needed to be in the forefront.
Yeah, Josh Hyde maybe not 100% convinced yet that they can't make the double without losing their back yellow or the shooter.
I think that jam is so loaded up, there's nowhere you can hit that top one where it's not jamming against the back yellow.
Yeah, no, I think you're probably right.
In a way that doesn't stuff the top one on the back one.
Yeah, or you lose a shooter or something too. So it's probably a little too much risk in that shot. So Dustin Kalthoff now will play a draw, looking at 2 here in the second end. Just got to be sure here that you're, when you go to play it, that you're actually. Sam Wells is coming to have a look.
Yeah, Josh feels pretty strongly about this. He's going to kind of put his foot down and really insist that they give this a go. And playing a team like Jacobs, it might be worth it. I just can't visualize that second red going over top of the yellow.
Yeah, they might not be quite far enough apart. It wouldn't take much more for them to be able to make it, but maybe just a little too close together. They just can't get the angle right. Big shot here, though.
This is one of those ones
down on this one.
This is one of those ones on league night. I'd make the draw, and then before anyone kicked any stones off, I'd say wait, and then hit the top ones just to see what happens.
Yeah. Dustin Kalthoff tries to draw the little better than 8 foot here. Sweeper's on it pretty early. And going pretty hard now. Got to get it there. Dustin
That looks light. It is curling early.
This is not going to get there, I don't believe. And I have everybody sweeping it in a minute. He may sneak it by, but doesn't look like it. And a steal of 2 for Jacobs here in the second end. And taking what probably will be a pretty commanding 4-0 lead after 3 ends of play here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. We will be back right after the break.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sasktel.com/sponsorships.
So Dustin Kalthoff's going to need the support of this Saskatchewan crowd here and getting back in this one down 4-0 to Brad Jacobs. Has some work to do for sure.
Yeah, this is a well-supported team. Just want to shout out some of the friends and family watching. Tanner Ring, Shelby at home, the whole Ring family. Allison, Dave Wells. Epic curling parent Allison is. Best cheerleader. And these local fans coming out to watch some curling. You see the inside is packed as well. It's not quite like the Gushu game. Those stands were totally filled. Brad Gushu has that Elvis-like effect on curling crowds, but still very good support from the hometown here. And Swift.
Gushu lost that game earlier today, did he not?
He did. I was producing that game. It was an absolute treat to watch. One of the most fun tactical games I've seen in years. So many rocks in play, so many big decisions, angles, taps, finesse shots. Oh, they just played so good. The team that beat Pierce, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, they played so well.
So they've got a corner guard up, and they do have one half behind the corner guard. And Brad Jacobs now asking Brent Gallant to remove that one.
Yep, fifth rock at the end. Love watching the decisions they make with these. This kind of chase shot has become more and more popular.
Took everything that Mark Kennedy could do there to get that rock over there.
That was an impressive carve sweep.
You see it
Just
here.
Long, slow, powerful brush strokes. That's the key to carving that rock, convincing it to curl. Really good technique from Kennedy.
Kalthoff going back around the corner.
Yeah, and their kind of free draws are over. The free guard zone's over. Jacobs will start hitting yellow rocks from top to bottom, you would think, up 4.
This one's going to be on the corner.
Ends up in a sort of okay spot.
Yeah. He didn't really lose it.
Jacobs right now. You could see him swipe his broom aggressively. Get this thing out of here.
Yeah. Like swatting a fly.
Yeah, that's Jacobs as a skip. You know what's coming.
Vinny Heaves holding that, trying to hold this one.
Some more impressive sweeping. Peels it straight out cleanly.
Tough part here for Kalthoff. No matter what he goes around, you figure they're going to run back, but all you can do is make the shots and hope to get a break somewhere. Going back around the corner again. Not a bad choice, because if you do make it good chance Jacobs just plays a straight peel on the corner and at least you will for a little while have 2 in there, or it could have 2 in there if you choose to, and maybe get an easy deuce this end. One thing about it, the team that's had 4-0 is, more concerned probably with giving up 3 than they are with giving up 2. So they will sometimes help you out a little bit.
There we go. Finally looking like some good line out to the wing here.
Yeah, keep it going as far as you can, boys. You want to get it buried if you can. Probably not quite, but pretty darn good.
Not good enough. I feel like Brad will peel the guard.
You will. Just contemplating whether or not to try to actually make the run back, make the double.
Not a ton of risk.
No.
You'd have to overcurl pretty significantly for it to be bad. Of course, if you peel it over the top, nothing wrong with that.
So it looked like he was going to go after it. Discussed a couple of different things there. Discussed just hitting it and rolling to the center, maybe even through the house. But see, Mark Kennedy's going to try the run back. It's a different view.
I just love that Mark Kennedy delivery so much. I thought I'd zoom my camera in as tight as it can possibly go.
Yeah, it's a good picture. It didn't blur out or anything like that. It was good.
Oh, Mark's one of the best in the world, most accurate hitters, career-wise. That's, I think, what he'll be remembered for. Just putting the stone right where the broom is.
And sure enough, makes that one. Made it twice.
Benny Heebs, always having fun when he comes back to Saskatchewan, and you can always find Ben in a good mood when his team is up on the scoreboard. That's when the smiles come out.
Yeah. He's not one of those guys that you can't tell if they're winning or losing sometimes. So Dustin's going to try the other turn this time. Probably not a bad idea. Come around this side and mix it up a little bit. I can't see that rock, but he's looking pretty good. Just rubbed ever so slightly.
Oh, it just took off on them. I feel bad. They didn't really manage it, thinking that's what was going to happen. A team that's normally so proficient at drawing, they've made me look kind of bad for saying that. The draw weight and line, it's been kind of tricking them a little bit. The sweepers haven't really reflected like they know exactly what the rock's doing. Yeah, you can see them shaking their heads a little bit. They kind of at a loss.
Mark Kennedy with a little less difficult takeout this time and a little less weight. It's that more normal control type weight. And a little roll coming. It's pretty good. Looking for a bumper weight. Trying to get a little inside flop here. Kalthoff just hasn't really been able to get anything going here. Sort of had it with the one nice draw behind the corner, and then they make the run back, so pretty tough. A few rocks around here, but there's nothing really in a great position for him. Sam Wills on the brush.
Yeah, got to hide this one somewhere. Got to make them chase it to somewhere more difficult. On and off the sweep the whole time. That's a made shot. Just kind of bounced off a little more than they wanted to, but still, it's going to go a long way to at least clearing the middle and hopefully attempting a miss out of Jacobs.
Yeah, a very nice draw. I mean, he made a perfect hit and roll. Just it was very unlikely that it was ever going to be any more difficult than it is here. So hopefully you'll get a break here somewhere and have a chance maybe to Come around the corner or something again. Try to get your 2. If he runs his back and removes it and leaves the shooter somewhere around that center line, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kalthoff go around it. Almost no matter where it is.
Just getting a bit of a kick out of Sam here, talking to Jason Ginter on the next sheet over. Hey, how do I beat Jacobs when I'm down 4-0? Oh, I don't know, Sam.
Yeah.
It is fun out there. That's one of the most addicting parts of playing tour curling is getting to know the other guys on the other teams and having fun with it. Like this is an interesting community, and there's only so many years, until family and work kind of disallow you from chasing this dream. So when you're out there, it's really good to have some camaraderie with the other athletes out there. That's what makes curling so special.
Yeah. Jacobs with the run back. Everything going away.
Whap. No mistake. That is a Brad Jacobs special. He's been making those since I first learned his name over 15 years ago.
Yeah. Let's see.
Kid out of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. That just makes everything. Very, very experienced player at this point, Brad Jacobs. Kind of did a little fake retirement a few years ago, but we all knew he'd be back.
He throws that big weight without any kind of an extension to speak of or anything. Where most people nowadays, when they're throwing it that hard, will help it a little bit. He doesn't do any of that. It's just kind of nice and smooth right out of the hand.
Yeah, him and Mark Kennedy as a back end throw their hits so straight and pure. It's very formidable. It's tough for me. Maybe Oscar Eriksson and Nick Edin.
Yeah.
Outside of them, I'm having trouble thinking of a third skip combo that could keep up with them. Maybe BJ and Dunstone when they were at their prime.
Yeah.
As a team. BJ obviously no longer with that team anymore. But anyways, now some of the best in the world, if not the best in the world, at throwing weight, third and skip.
So Kalthoff looks like he's playing the draw. Come right around the center, we'll call it the guard, the one in the 12-foot.
Be good for Dustin to get his draw weight. He's missed a few so far, and they're all very pressure shots. So this one, his first of 2, would be good to put this one close, and he can dial it in for his next one.
I don't know for sure, but I don't think it would be harmful for this one to go back a little further than what you'd think you might want, just to keep the double possibility, the raise takeout possibility a little less likely. See where it goes and where they want it to go. Sam Wells on the inside. Matt Ring on the outside. It's going to go back there a little bit anyways.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't poke too far out the other side. Which it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's a fine spot. Make Jacobs chase it back there. More of a difficult kind of in-turn hack weight shot. About as good as you could do. But since they're not shot rock, drawing to it is an option as well.
Yeah. I think for Kalthoff, though, that was a good idea. If he puts that rock, on the button or something like that, then Jacobs just plays the run back, and it's short enough that you're probably not ever going to miss it. This way, at least you force him to something other than that.
Oh, nice move, Connor. Split screen. Well, curling stadium fans, historically, the Western Showdown has broken our view records every year. Let's see if we can do it again this year. We got a lot of people kind of, preparing for the holidays and having a nice kind of quiet weekend at home, maybe doing some shopping. So tune in to your favorite curling teams. Let's see if we can break the record. I think we had 4,400 watching the final one year. Let's get that up to 5,000.
Had 3,200 this afternoon for the
my goodness
Caitlin Law's game against Fujisawa.
And that's just at one time. That's not including replays and stuff. So Curling Stadium, you know, the last 3.5 years we've been proving the appetite for curling streaming. And all of you at home who choose to spend your evening with us and tune in, we thank you. And thanks for supporting, you know, this game we all love. That's why we're in this business, Jim. It's not a big fat paycheck that certainly doesn't exist. It's because we love it.
Kalthoff might have a chance. There's 2 here. No, worked out pretty good. I couldn't see where the rock was. Pretty tough. Tough unless you want to play a really, really thin double.
This might even be thinner than the Hackner double.
Yeah.
Josh is already lining it up. Like, just playing against Josh all these years, he knows exactly what centimeter of that stone you have to hit to make this. Probably have to play an intern. Angle's there. Down 4, you may as well take it on. 1 point is not going to do it.
No. It's really almost a miss. You're playing to almost miss this. I think he's playing out turn though. I think because he wouldn't be playing in turn there because it never a million. Like
I mean, since it's so thin, I thought you would want to get just that ever so slightly flatter angle with the intern.
Yeah.
You gotta hit a 1/2 inch of the stone no matter what. So
yeah.
Oh, heads up, Connor. My camera's glitching out. Sorry. Like a wild horse. Can't quite predict what it's gonna do.
So Dustin Kalthoff with a difficult but possible shot for 2 here. So he attempts to climb back in this game with Brad Jacobs. Sam Will's going hard. He has to hold it. You do have to barely hit the rock, but you do have to touch it at least. Will he get it? No, it's going to curl by. And another steal of 2, and this one's over.
Yep, Team Kalthoff will save their energy for tomorrow. It's a tough opponent, and it was worth a try. Just got behind the 8 ball in terms of sort of specifics and draw weight a little early and ended up biting them.
Yeah, probably, to be honest, Jacob, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't feel that way. Jacob's team probably would have liked to get a couple more ends in as well. I don't know if they have another game today, but I don't think they do. I think that's it. So in a real short one, Brad Jacobs beats Dustin Kalthoff by a 6-0 score. Taking the fans out of it early, as they say, and they never really get a chance to get back in it. So on behalf of Rory McCusker and Connor Sims, I'm Jim Nix, and we'll say goodnight to now. We'll see you again tomorrow. Reminder as well, we do have coverage all weekend long, so wherever you are and you want to see a game, you can turn on Curling Stadium and you can find a game from this event. So thanks very much for watching, and we will see you all again tomorrow.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice bat has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.